Racism is one of those things that has always been around in our country. Even with the beginning of our country, when the Pilgrims came over from Europe to the Americas, they even brought slaves with them, and it's always been a way of life for people like them. But it started to become a problem, even during like the Civil War, and even today, people still have had problems with it. And even today, there's also problems going on with racism. Racism was a big thing back then, and it always has been, and it always probably will be. But during the 1890s, there was this law passed in Louisiana. It was called the Separate Car Act, and what it did was it made that all railway companies carrying passengers in their coaches in the state shall provide equal but separate accommodations for the white and colored races by providing 2 or more passenger coaches for each passenger train, or by dividing the passenger coaches by partition so as to secure separate accommodations. After this decision, it made it more clear that racism was allowed to go on. People began to and continued to be racist towards others. They continued to make restaurants seating, for example, that was separated. So there's one sitting area for the whites and the one seating area for the colored. And most of the time what they would do is they would make the white seating area nice and clean and everything look all nice, but then they would make the colored seating area all bad and everything. They would take care of it as well, and they wouldn't treat them equally, even though they had to do that. And people were so racist, they even made it worse for them by not treating them equally. Even the water fountain situation, the white water fountain would look all nice and clean and well maintained, and the colored water fountain would not look well maintained. Racism still existed, even though people were not allowed to do that technically under the law. It would still went on, and even though all these poll taxes and grandfather clauses, all this had been taken away, there was still like a de facto type of racism going on, where even though it wasn't against the law, it was just still going on, and the government really didn't do much about it. However, in 1954, in the Brown versus Board of Education case, this ruling was overturned, luckily, and anything that was said about that was overruled, and it made racism completely illegal. And in the workplace, at school, anywhere, it was considered illegal, and that would obviously cancel out the railroad station problems, where it was considered legal to separate you by race and make two different rail carts for seating for two different races. And now that that has been overruled, the racism is considered illegal in the government. But over the years, ever since that was overruled, since 1954, over 50 years, we have still seen racism. And it might not be as bad as it was before, it still is here. And it always will be, and has impacted our future, and it always will be here, no matter what we do. We could try to put a stop to it, but there will always be people out there that will continue to be racist, and it will continue to live on, no matter what we do.